I don't think this was the desired outcome. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about MSNBC bringing a group of Trump voters in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area to a particular location and interviewing them about J6, January 6th, so-called insurrection, whatever you guys want to call it. I know that it was a big nothing burger. Yes, there was some injuries and whatnot, but it wasn't really that big. However, I knew right when it happened that the media would harp on it for years to come. It's almost 2 years later, and they talk about J6 every single day. You have the hearings going on, talking about, oh, Trump said this and Trump did that, and they were trying to kill Mike Pence, and just all kind of crazy things. I knew this would be the case, and here we are yet again still talking about it. However, I'm not sure that they accomplished their goal when they got these Trump voters together in the room to speak about January 6th. I think maybe the goal was to get one of these guys to flip and say, oh, this was the worst thing since 9/11, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, World War II, Germany, the slave trade, all types of stuff. But that did not happen at all. And before I go any further, let's roll the clip. If you want to see this short clip in full, that'll be in the box. There's also a 10-minute version. I'll place that in the box as well. Let's go ahead and roll the clip right now.
Doug Mastriano was at the insurrection, and he was photographed breaching one of the restricted areas. Is that okay?
Which area? Because I saw a video where Capitol officers were taking away barriers and unlocking doors for people. So, I mean,
they opened the gates.
So it shouldn't be disqualifying for an elected official if they participated in January 6th?
He didn't strike anybody. He didn't hurt anybody.
And the only one that died was a protester there, not a Capitol police.
R.I.P. Ashley Babbitt. That's correct.
Female veteran.
That's the only one that died.
That's the only one who died.
A police officer did die.
No, it was a stroke.
That's not.
He died the next day, not at the actual J6. Because in the actual extended interview, clip, whatever, they have post-talk on MSNBC. And I think Joe Scarborough was talking about where there was 4 cops that died. Well, did they die there? Or did they die later? Was there other reasons? It might have been self-harm going on. So let's just talk about who died at the actual event.
Not on site.
Caused by that. That's because he shouldn't have been a police officer. It was one woman.
So what do you make, though, overall of January 6th? I mean, it was, watching that footage, it was pretty disturbing. I mean, there were people throwing excrement at the walls, and it was it's the Capitol.
It looked a lot like Antifa's actions.
Yeah, it looked a lot, except on a much smaller scale. It looked the same as the Black Lives Matter riots.
That's what I saw the similarities to be.
And you know what? The Antifa riots, the Black Lives Matter riots, have been going on for years. I was covering those riots back when I first started my channel back in 2015, 2016, when Trump originally ran against Hillary Clinton and stopped her into wine. I remember all those riots back then, the Freddie Gray and Michael Brown, Trayvon, all these people. And then after George Floyd, oh man, the riots are crazy. A lot of innocent civilians died. Little girls got killed. Old men got killed. R.I.P. Sequoia Turner. R.I.P. David Dorn. Okay, these things actually happen. The media doesn't care about it. They care about J6 because why? Because it was so-called Republicans, so-called conservatives who were doing the so-called rioting. Although we know that there were a lot of other people involved with that, aside from just regular, everyday, normal Republicans. Well, we keep on going.
Minneapolis burns. Kenosha burns.
But so it's okay just because one side that you disagree with?
It's not about that. It's about, well, let's talk about everything. So you want to just ignore all that stuff and focus on this. You just wanted to ignore all of what they said and go right back to that to try and blame people like this for any kind of riotous action in America when we know that's simply not the case.
I'm saying Antifa infiltrated.
It's good for one, it's good for the other.
Anybody who harmed anybody who caused property destruction, that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah,
but if you're there making your voice heard at the people's house, no less, that's, again, it's a fundamental constitutional right of an American citizen, and people should not be being held political prisoner because of it.
For misdemeanors. That's East Germany.
That's East Germany.
Tactics.
Yeah.
And then, the whole thing about being a political prisoner, you're being held in solitary confinement, no trial. You're just being drugged through procedure and red tape and bureaucracy. I mean, at a certain point, you have rights as a citizen, regardless of how bad someone thinks that you are or the severity of the crime that someone thinks that you have done or that you're accused of doing. You still have rights as an American citizen. And a lot of these rights are being stripped away from those who were alleged to be involved with J6. And that's just simply not right.
That's what's scary.
It was an actual fiery but mostly peaceful protest. And the other ones that were the opposite.
Was the protest legitimate in your eyes?
Administration,
because
I feel like, is using it as their Reichstag fire.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're using it as.
Do you think that President Trump could have quelled the violence that day?
Not him personally.
I don't think so, no.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, because I think Trump was not the one who was behind the violence. You see, there were some people that were upset about the election and how it went. Some normies get wrapped up in all the drama. But I think there were people there who weren't necessarily conservative, weren't Republican. They had ulterior motives, which had been known about for a while. You know, there was a request to have more security, National Guard, et cetera, but it wasn't approved. So you got to ask yourself, why was that the case? Why were certain guys from certain organizations picked up the night before the actual events happened? See, there was a lot of knowledge about what was going on before. This is before Trump went there and said his speech. There were already plans in motion before Trump got there at the actual Capitol and gave his speech.
It started while he was still speaking. I was actually there. I was there to see what I thought was going to be the last time I ever saw Trump, little did I know.
So did he tell everybody to go and start rioting?
No.
I didn't
Shout out to Ray Epps.
think so.
No, and it actually, I stayed for the whole speech, like a ton of people did. And then we all headed to the Capitol because he said, let's go to the Capitol and peacefully let our voices
keyword.
be heard. And we get to the Capitol and we're like, what the hell's going on? Because it had already happened.
I'm pretty sure I saw Democratic operatives instigating people to cross
totally.
barriers.
So there it is. There's the short clip again. If you want to see this full clip without me talking on it, link will be in the box. If you want to see the longer 10-minute actual full segment with the post talk from MS13DNC, that'll be in the description box below as well. But yeah, this was pretty interesting. I don't think MSNBC got what they wanted. Well, maybe they did. Maybe the whole point was to get them in the room and to hear them talk and then to attack them. Oh, this is your average Trump voter. This is the MAGA Republican. Because, you know, that's kind of going into what Biden was talking about or has been talking about recently out there on the campaign trail, if you call it that. If you call a guy getting lost every 5 minutes, not knowing where he's supposed to go, not knowing what he should say or how to say it, when to say it, or anything like that, sniffing on women, little girls, elderly ladies, or whatever. If you call that a campaign trail, I guess that's what he's doing. But he's out there talking about, oh, these MAGA Republicans, these are the people that are a threat to our nation. They're a threat to our society, and they're the ones ruining our economy. Let's not worry about inflation from the money printing and bad policy, things of that nature. And let's not worry about that. Let's worry about the MAGA Republicans. So maybe this was a way to paint them as some kind of subversive force and then to further attack them, which is pretty much what they did after this segment. You had Joe Scarborough and them talking about, oh, where are they getting the information? That wasn't right. 4 officers died, all this and that, and the third. I think the average normie out there in America ain't really worried about J6. They're more worried about, hey, we got inflation going on right now. I'm having a hard time being able to eat my food. I'm having a hard time being able to afford medication. I'm having a hard time being able to heat my home. What they say, the heating and the feeding, it's a problem right now in America, not this one particular quote unquote riot. Let's just say this was a riot, and let's just say it was the right that did it, which is debatable. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that it was right that did it, and that's on them. This is one riot. How many BLM riots have there been? How many Antifa riots have there been? How many lives have been lost in these riots? How many neighborhoods have been destroyed, never to return as a result of these riots? As I close, I want to say this. I remember I think it was the Freddie Gray riots in Baltimore back in 15, 16, whenever that was. Might have been 14. But I remember those riots, and I remember watching Don Roberts, and shout out to Don Roberts. He just retired out there in Virginia, I think on WTV 10. But anyway, he was reporting, and I think he might have been from Baltimore or a reporter in Baltimore. He was talking about how long that neighborhood tried to get a Target or a CVS or something right there, some kind of store right there to bring economic activity to that neighborhood. They tried for years and years and years to get that location. And then overnight, as a result of media sparking the fire, BLM and Antifa sparking the fire, overnight, that store was gone, never to return. So years of work and progress went into this, and in an instance, because of political and money and things of that nature, it's gone. And that same thing happened all over the country. And we're not talking about that at all. That's not really a big deal. We focus on January 6th because it's a political thing to attack one side in favor of the other side. It's pretty gross if you ask me, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about this interview between MSNBC and Pittsburgh area Trump voters? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. Do you think J6 was the worst thing to happen in U.S. history? Worse than the Great Depression, 9/11, Columbine? Was it that bad? What are your thoughts on it in general? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at. It wasn't that bad. It was way overblown. But I knew that it would be like that right from the beginning. Why? Because of the political narrative. Oh, these MAGA Trump supporters, they're crazy. They want to cause an insurrection. They want to destroy the Capitol. They're going to use that because they have nothing else. They can't talk to you about their accomplishments on the economy. They can't talk to you about their accomplishments on race relations or anything of that nature, foreign relations and infrastructure, energy production. They can't talk to you about that. So they got to attack the other side as being the villain. So you could point the finger at them and as a result, vote for the Democrats. Democrats have done nothing other than just market themselves as the better option, although that is obviously not the case, because if it is the case, then why are we doing so much worse under the Biden administration than we were on the Trump administration? It's pretty simple if you ask me. 2 + 2 = 4. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.